$10, one deposit. The goal is $1,000 and no room for error, because such a balance, one foolish trade ends everything. Everyone says it's impossible to grow a deposit without 100 items. Today, I will prove the opposite. I'm starting with $10 on a real account with pocket option, and my goal is $1,000. No room for error. This means no items to work over losses, no doubling down after a loss, and no emotions. Only discipline, one indicator, and clear rules. With $10, I have no margin for error. Every trade must be perfect. I will show you exactly how to choose them and why this challenge is more important than any other. Let's go. First, I will show you the first trade and then I'll explain the system. So, to start, I'd like to demonstrate how my system works, after which I will explain how to add the indicator, how to use it, and how to avoid making foolish mistakes that could lead you to losing your deposit. So, the currency pair USD/GBY, $10, 1 minute. Entering a downward trade, the trade is open. I'm waiting for its closure. A confident downward movement. The trade is closing profit and the downward movement continues. A great execution. The payout percentage was small, but still, for the first trade, this is more than good enough. Now the balance is $10 just from one trade. That's 50% increase to the deposit. But our goal is to make X 100, so we move on. As you may have noticed, for chart analysis, I use the TradingView platform. This is the largest terminal for chart analysis, and here you will need to either register or log into your account. To open the full chart, we need to click on the full chart button. Here we will see the full chart, and all we need to do is add currency pairs using the plus button. We should have the Forex section enabled, and our task is to add FXCM pairs. Now, about the indicator. To add an indicator, we go to the indicator section, strangely enough, and add the indicator called DBMA, draw Bollinger, moving average from this author. The indicator has been added, and our chart has transformed nicely. However, I will gradually explain how to work with this indicator during trading. So watch the video carefully until the end. So I found a good situation with the currency pair USD/CAD. I will open a trade here going down. Let's start explaining the indicator. This indicator we are using is trend-based. It helps us determine the trend in the form of line that appears either above or below the chart. It tracks almost every price movement, and based on that draws a certain level that serves at either a support level or a resistance level for us. Accordingly, our task is to wait for the moment when the price gets as close as possible to this level and to understand whether there will be a pullback or breakout. In this case, I expect a pullback from this level and a continuation of downward movement. So for the currency pair USD/CAD, $15, 1 minute, my position is open. I hope this trade closes confidently in profit. And while the trade is ongoing, I'd like to give you advice regarding choosing currency pairs. The thing is, on TradingView, we see currency pairs without the OTC label. Therefore, we should not choose currency pairs marked as OTC. They have nothing to do with TradingView. So we only select classic pairs without the OTC mark. A downward movement occurred even though I entered a bit later than I planned, but the trade still closed in profit. My balance is now $24. Remember, we have no room for error. We need strict discipline. Will I be able to earn more than 100 times my deposit? We will find out soon. So the currency pair UR/CAD, I will be entering a downward trade here. Let's take a look. We have a good downward trend. From this level on our indicator, there have been a lot of retracement movements, indicating its strength and effectiveness at the moment. During the last entry of the price into this level, we saw a very strong seller who produced a candle with a huge upper shadow and a small body at the bottom. After this candle, there was an attempt to go higher, but the seller also didn't give the buyer that opportunity. Therefore, I can conclude that the seller is very strong here and will push the price lower. So for the currency pair URCAD, 50%. I haven't had much luck with payout today. Nevertheless, what matters is the quality of trade execution, not luck with payout percentages. Regarding the quality of trade execution, you can join my Telegram channel. There you will gain access to a bot that analyzes over 30 assets for you and automatically provides signals on them. If you are a beginner or a professional trader who doesn't want to spend much time analyzing charts, this is a great solution that will help you save time while starting to earn consistently from trading. The link is in the description. The price is currently near my entry point. We don't have an impulse movement, but nevertheless, the trade still closes in profit. The balance is now $37. I found a situation where I will be opening a breakout trade. Let's break it down. In this situation, we had a long downward trend where almost every low was lower than the previous one. But at some point, everything changed. The last low was higher than the previous one. As the price was approached this level, we saw impulsive candles favoring buyers, which were also accompanied by increased volume. This is also a relatively good confirming factor. At the top, we already see the nearest resistance level in this area. This level has already been broken once, so its strength has diminished, and I expect the upward movement to continue. So for the currency pair AUD-CAD, finally lucky without the payout. 89%, $37 upwards. As you may have noticed from both the previous and current trades, I use candlestick analysis in addition to the main indicator. I recommend that each of you pay attention primarily on the chart rather than the indicator. This is because any indicator is built solely based on the movement on the chart. Therefore, ignoring candles and levels is quite foolish, considering that I have set myself the goal of increasing $10 almost 100 times. I must pay attention to absolutely all factors. Just look at the excellent movement I managed to catch right after opening the position. This is a perfect execution of a breakout level on our indicator. We move on. So the currency pair is CHF-GBY. Here there is a great situation for execution. In this case, I see that at some point the price has come very close to the level on our indicator. What happened? We had a breakout, and during the breakout, the buyer produced impulsive candles in their favor. Not to mention the bullish engulfing pattern that formed precisely at the breakout of this level. This is a two-candle pattern where the second green candle completely engulfs the previous red candle. It indicates buyer dominance and a continuation of the upward movement. So $70 1 minute upwards. While I was explaining the entry point, we already had a good continuation. Nevertheless, the situation actually looks very simple, and I believe I can execute it well. Remember, the simpler trading, the more effective it is. That's why for this challenge, I chose relatively simple strategy that doesn't require a lot of indicators and doesn't clutter the chart. Great trade, excellent upward movement. My balance is already $130. Now for the currency GBP AUD, here I will be opening a trade on a pullback. As we can see, there's a good downward trend. At some point, the price came very close to the level on our indicator and attempted to break through. During the breakout, there wasn't a strong buyer. Instead, we had a strong seller who prevented the buyer from moving higher and produced as an impulsive candle in their favor on increased volume. Below, I see a good support level that the price will likely aim for. It's obvious that here the seller is stronger, and I will enter the trade downwards. My position is open. If this trade closes in profit, my balance will go from $130 to $249. In trading, it's also very important to pay attention to levels that are close to the current price position. This is because any level, regardless of what it is, acts as kind of magnet for the price. Price will always tend to these levels because there is often a large amount of money accumulated behind them, which is commonly referred to as liquidity. Another confident win. My balance now is $249. But this isn't the end. So I found a good situation, the currency pair AUD USD. Let's see what we have here. Initially, we had a very impulsive downward movement. However, the market has calmed down and started moving more reasonably. This time, when the price approached the area, we formed a candlestick pattern, a bearish engulfing pattern, which means a two-candle pattern where the second red candle completely engulfed the previous red candle. The previous green candle, indicating seller dominance in this area. Moreover, on the candle in favor of the seller, we saw an increase in the volume. It's clear that here we will be executing a pullback downwards. Currency pair AUD USD, 1 minute entry downwards, the trade is open. I would also like to note that we cannot trade during periods of high volatility, when the market is either moving very aggressively in one direction or forming an unpleasant sideways movement. During such times, a large number of levels and candlestick patterns simply don't work. In these cases, we just wait for the moment when the market calms down and forms a gradual movement. The trade closed in profit. I had a good successful execution. This is not the end, however. I already see that the market is forming strong volatility, and the situations for entry are becoming fewer and fewer. So for the currency pair USD GPY, I found an interesting situation for execution. In this case, we have an upward trend. The market has stabilized and we have started a good calm movement. The price has entered this level. When the price approached this level, we formed a candle with a large shadow at the bottom, plus there was a continuation of movement upwards and at the same time an increase in volume. All this together indicates a strong buyer within this area who will likely push the price higher. And above us, we have this resistance level, which the price will likely aim for. So for the currency USD GPY, $436, 1 minute upwards. My position is open, and this is my last trade for today. For this currency pair, I found a suitable situation that matches my strategy. However, at this moment, I think it would be very risky to open a trade on any currency pair. Therefore, I won't take any unnecessary risks to avoid losing everything. Trading is directly related to discipline, risk, and money management. Today's challenge has further strengthened my understanding on the market. Moreover, it significantly impacts trading psychology since I now have to trade even more cautiously. In any case, I found today's experiment very interesting. At this point, we already see a good retracement movement, and I believe that the trade should close in profit. Despite the increased volatility in this candle, the trade closed in profit, and let's summarize. As you can see, thanks to my strategy and discipline, I managed to increase my deposit by more than 78 times. To boost my deposit, I use my strategy with one indicator. Finally, let's consolidate and state a complete order of action for entering a trade. First, you need to find a situation on the chart when the market is not very volatile and kind. Then you should identify the moment on the chart when the price is closest to level on our indicator. After that, you need to determine whether there will be a retracement or a breakout. You do this through candlestick analysis and levels. Once you have found all confirmations, you can open a position using your risk management. This video is coming to an end. I hope it was useful for you. Don't forget to join my Telegram channel via the link in the description. And goodbye.